Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's Friday Eve. How are you doing out there? I am KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review, and you are joining me on this magnificent 55, 60-minute ride of the Houston Roundball Review takeover of the lunch break here on Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube via the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Sounds like we're no longer streaming live on Musk. That's fine. No reason why I do that anymore. But anyhow, you're definitely watching us on Roku via BS3 Network. And a reminder, as you know, if you are a regular supporter and viewer of the lunch break, BS3 is available on Roku. Just download BS3 TV. If you don't have it, get it. Just go to bs3network.com or BS3TVLive.com. Coach Donna Finnie, HCU women's basketball head coach, is going to try to join me momentarily via her phone, having some issues with the laptop, but no worries. Going to talk to her for a few minutes. Got a few things to ask her. How Beryl treated her is one of the things. Get an update on her. I know she was one of the last ones, or is one of the last ones, to have her power restored. So get an update on her from a personal level. But until then, you are watching live on Facebook, my personal page, but more appropriately, the Houston Roundball Review Facebook page, and of course on Twitter, FireTV, and yes, Roku via BS3 Network. All right. I'm going to talk Cougs first. We'll talk, obviously, some HCU women's hoops when Coach Finnie joins me. But at some point during these 55 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about what in the hell is Florida State doing? Florida State athletics, what are y'all doing? What is your plan? I know what your goal is. Your goal is to be paid like you are a Big Ten member or an SEC member. But if you don't get that invite, then what are you going to do? But first things first. Friday, July 19th, I got my parking passes for the games, the 4 games taking place inside Fertitta Center as part of the opening round of the Houston Regional of the 2024 TBT, the basketball tournament. The Forever Cougs, the alumni roster for the Cougs was finalized, I think, Monday of this week. Here it is. At picture there, those guys look familiar to you if you follow the Cougs. Got Rob Gray, Fabian White in the middle there, and then Dejan Giroux. And Rocket fans, you're noticing Fabian White there in the middle. Fabian, this is the finalized roster. All right, the finalized roster. As of, Monday, Fabian was on the Houston Rockets Summer League team, sitting on the bench and getting up during timeouts to support his teammates. But, yes, this is the finalized roster of Forever Cougs TBT, and Fabian is on the Forever Cougs roster. So I guess that indicates he'll be playing. So good afternoon to you, BS3 Network. Ben, thank you for your support. Thank you for this platform. And thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts, insights, and opinions with the audience that is growing. But real quickly, as you see on the screen, the lineup, the roster for Forever Cougs: Rob Gray from 2015 to 2018, Dejan Giroux, 2018 to 21, Eric Weary Jr., 2014 to 16, Wes Van Beck, 2014 to 18, forwards Fabian White. Yes, Fabian White. He's listed on the roster, the final roster. Even though the Rockets have a game scheduled, the Summer League Rockets have a game scheduled tonight in Vegas at, I think, 10 o'clock Central Time. So we'll see. Rex 32. We'll see. We shall see. Will Giroux and Fabian be here after the Summer League games today? Well, like I said, this is the final roster submitted to TBT. And if Forever Cougs lose Friday, they're done. So it's not like there's another game involved. It's one and done. But the rest of the roster, the board man, Justin Gorham, 2018 to 21, Devontae Pollard, part of the early groups for head coach Kelvin Sampson to help establish the foundation of Houston Cougars men's basketball. Tayshawn Thomas, yes, Tayshawn Thomas, from 2011 to 2014, he decided to go to Oklahoma and not have his senior year under Kelvin Sampson, but there's no bad blood there with Tayshawn Thomas and the program, at least from my end. Devin Davis, 2016 to 18. Then there are three others who are not Cougs. Melvin Frazier, Tulane, 2018. Chandre Jones, Richmond College, but also from Richmond, Texas. And I think Chandre hooped at Fort Bend Bush. And then Christian Eugene from Spring High School, played ball at Troy. Without further ado, going to bring her in. She's a trooper. It looks like, based on the background, she does have lights. So that's a good thing. And yes, real quick, Rex is correct. Friday's game tips off for the Forever Cougs at 8 o'clock Central against Austin's own team representing, I think, Longhorns, some alums, etc. But the game will be available on tbt.com. I think it's the tournament.com website. Of course, you can be there in person. Join me at Fertitta Center. Tickets are reasonably priced, I believe. I think they start at $20. So I'm sure Rex has that in his shoe. So he can get tickets like that and join me there Friday to watch the Forever Cougs. But going to bring her in. She has some news to share about her program. I think it's pretty important. A few things I want to ask her about. Bring her in on her phone because
technical difficulties, Kris. You know how that goes. So
yeah, you are a trooper. You adjusted on the fly. So thank you very much for joining me. How are you today, Coach?
I'm well. How are you?
Same. All right. Well, first things first. When did you get power restored, or have you? I know you told me, but for everybody who doesn't know, when did you get power turned back on?
So on campus, we got power back 2 days ago. So we had kind of sent our players away to various places, including my house, so that they had air, and were comfortable, because obviously, as so many people in Houston had to go through, it hasn't been very comfortable the last week and a half. So everybody's back now. We had our first workout yesterday and finally got this group together. So happy that everybody's here.
I'm glad to hear that. Was there much damage on campus?
Fences down, nothing major, thankfully, but yeah, a lot of cleanup, because our campus is very green. So there's a lot of tree limbs and, leaves and things lying around, but we were pretty lucky. So, other than the power, it was all good.
And for you personally, when did you get power restored?
So our house went out and it came back on like on the Tuesday night, and then went off again quite quickly and came back on Wednesday night. So we were pretty lucky.
Okay.
Pretty lucky.
All right. So you and I were in the same boat, because apparently at some point when I was out of town at the Big 12 Football Media Day, power was restored. I didn't know until I came back Wednesday night. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another reason why I wanted to invite you on, I saw a post about, officially, you had mentioned it to me before, the women's program has a partnership with the Kendra Scott line. Is that correct?
Yes. So we have been very lucky. We've secured a partnership with Kendra Scott, which we're very excited about. We have a launch event this Saturday at the Kendra Scott store in Highland Village, between 12 and 3, where our players will be there. There'll be some light refreshments, etc. And we're encouraging people to come along and shop at Kendra that day. But that's just like our first really big event with them. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline for this year, including every home game, there'll be a Kendra Scott giveaway for the fan of the game at the end of the game. We're doing a couple of other pop-up events with them, and really excited to just partner with, a women's own brand like Kendra Scott, who has been such a huge role model for so many young women in business. A Texan herself, and just, it's a great opportunity for our girls, not just to be part of this brand, but to see her story and how she's succeeded as a businesswoman, from Texas. So I think, it's a great partnership for us, and we're looking forward to do more with the brand.
How did this partnership come about, Coach?
So I think you and I had discussed, Kris, we have a new member of staff on board, our director of engagement, Melina Belomo, and she's been really instrumental in reaching out to companies and kind of, securing some partnership deals with our team. And then also individually for some of the girls that have linked up with some companies as well, which is, we're kind of, we haven't announced those yet, but we're working towards those over the next few weeks. And there's some really exciting things for the girls individually in there. But Melina's been great in working with the Kendra brand. We also have a partnership with Chloe Dow, the designer, and she'll be involved, as both of them will, in our fundraising dinner in September. So, we've got a lot of things in the pipeline, and the girls are excited to be involved. And again, for me, it's really important that we partner with these brands because they're female led brands, and I think, I want to show these girls as much as possible that the sky's the limit for them, and they have great role models in both Kendra Scott and Chloe Dow with these brands.
Talk a little bit more details. Give more details about the upcoming fundraising dinner.
Yeah, so Friday, September 6th at the Marriott Sugarland, we'll be hosting a fundraising dinner there. Our guest speaker will be none other than Coach Chancellor, who is always fun to listen to. We'll be talking a little bit about his previous reign as the Comets head coach, and the chatter that surrounds potentially bringing a franchise back to Houston.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, which we're all big advocates of. And we'll also be doing a fashion show that evening with Chloe Dow and Kendra Scott. The girls will be modeling some of their latest lines, which we're looking forward to. But just a really good evening to get people together from different sports as well. We should have representation from some of our head coaches on campus, and also some other former sports players across the city, which we're excited about. So very excited for that dinner. And, it's something that we have been looking forward to and building towards. So, we're excited we can pull all our partners together that evening.
And all of these events, the fundraiser, Saturday, Kendra Scott, this is all to benefit HCU women's basketball, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And how or has it been difficult for you to generate financial support for HCU women's basketball?
I think
NIL.
Honestly, since we've had help in terms of having Melina on board, it's been a lot easier. I think part of the problem, Kris, is that, with our staff, we're not a huge staff. And so we have a lot of hats that we wear anyway. And so having someone that's specifically designated to do these things has really helped us. And Melina has been great with making new connections and building new partnerships, getting out in the community close to the school, and trying to kind of involve some of those businesses. And I think when you have someone that has the time and the experience to do that, it's been surprising how quickly people are willing to get involved. And I sound like a broken record here, but a lot of people are very keen to get involved with young women, and really help them as they grow and take their next steps post college. So we're also finding that there's going to be opportunities for internships and potential job opportunities for our players through some of these partnerships, and that's a huge part of why we're doing this. In addition to raising, obviously, some funds for our program, but more so because of the connections that these players and former players will get from these bonds that we build as we go out further into the community.
I think last week you announced the addition to your coaching staff. Just provide some thoughts on her.
Yeah, so anytime you bring a new coach in, it's always, there's a lot to do the first few days, but when their first day is the day that a hurricane hits, it's a little bit challenging. So this is the first week she's been in the office because she was out recruiting in Louisville at the big event up there, the Run for Roses event. But I think she brings a great experience to our staff. I mean, she's been at the JUCO level, NEI level, and D2 level, and is from Waco, Texas. She played overseas for a couple of years as well. And, you know, I think she's got some really good connections within Texas from a recruiting standpoint that are going to help us. So we're excited to kind of get her going. And like I say, it's her first week, so we're throwing a lot at her right now, but she's doing a great job of picking things up.
Coach, I got to ask you, you're not being a very good person here. What's the name of the coach? What's
Oh,
her
I'm
name?
sorry. Her name's Diana Wilson-Jones. And she came to us from Loyola University in New Orleans. That was her previous stop. So Diana will be around, and I'm sure people will see her in the Houston area pretty soon.
So with her addition to the staff, how big is the staff now? What is it now? 4?
So yeah, I have 3 full-time assistants, and then I have 2 grad assistants and myself. So yeah.
Oh, it's more than I thought.
Yes, I'm very happy right now. So got some good things like that are happening obviously off the court, but I really feel good about the group that we have in terms of being prepared on the court as well. So it's a big step up from last year.
How close are you? I think you are, but let me ask you on the
Hmm.
record here. How close are you to finalizing your non-conference schedule?
Well, I thought I had it finalized, obviously, and then we had to make some changes because of the additions to the Southland Conference. Um, now, and we are probably going to put that out, I would say, in the next week or so.
Say that again because you froze up
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
for a second.
we have it finalized, and we'll probably release that in the next week or so. So
Okay, and when it's finalized, you feel free to come back on here
yeah,
next Thursday. We can talk about it. I think I know is one of those matchups still happening here in the local area.
yes, sir, it is. We will be playing the Houston Cougars this year, so
Okay, I didn't want to say that without you
that's fine.
saying it. So
That's fine. Yeah, yeah.
okay, well, I'll ask this, so you don't have to answer it. Is it part of? Has it been decided if it's going to be part of the education day?
I've not heard that.
Okay.
I haven't heard that yet. I mean, we really don't have any times or anything from any of the we actually we do play, I can say, 4 Big 12 schools, and so we haven't had times or anything. So I'm sure we'll find that out in the next month or so.
Question from the audience on YouTube: do you collaborate at all with Coach Craig Doty?
So I'm hoping we will, but obviously coach has had to replace almost a full roster. So we've had some conversations on a couple of things here already, but his staff that he's put together have been out recruiting a lot and trying to bring 11 new guys together, which is a lot. I mean, I have 6 new players this year, so I can only imagine what he's going through with 11. um, but a lot of energy over there on that side of the building, and like I say, trying to get 11 new players together is pretty high task for him. So I'm sure as we go through, we'll be seeing more and more of them, which will be good.
Have all the tables been purchased for the fundraising dinner?
No, we still have about 4 open, so there is still an opportunity to purchase tables. Yeah.
And how would folks go about doing that if they have interest?
They can email me and I can send the link out to them, or I can send you the link and you could post it for me, which would be lovely.
Feel
But
free. You can just send it to me. I could do that. I don't mind doing that. Sure.
yeah, so either way, people can reach out to me and I can send the link forward. But like I say, I think it'll be a really great evening, and I'm excited. And I think like obviously, Coach Chancellor does all of our ESPN plus
Mhm.
tests. But when you meet him in person, he really has just got a personality that people are just magnetized to. So I think it's a great opportunity for people to actually visit with him, personally as well in the evening. So
With your experience, international experience, and the Olympics coming up, I
mhm.
think this question is for you and for me. But is there a women's basketball matchup or any sport that you are looking forward to?
Yeah, I think you know I think it's going to be interesting. The USA women's team is going to be a lot stronger than the others this year, I think. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
looking the Australian team, who normally, I think that's always a matchup I look forward to, is Australia and the USA. But I think there's no doubt the USA team is just so experienced this year. So I don't really see them being run too close at all. I hope I don't regret saying that. But I just think they're going to be way too strong for everybody. But I think, yeah, I like watching them play against the Aussie team because they do have, some decent size, and that's always good seeing them going up in that matchup.
What differences between American basketball, WNBA, college, and FIBA?
I had this conversation with a recruit actually yesterday. Way more physical, way more physicality allowed in FIBA. I think it's something that our players that come from playing with national teams overseas really struggle with when they get to the college level, because they're allowed to bump cutters off the ball. There's a lot more, there's just a lot more off ball contact and on ball. But I think that's the biggest difference, is the physicality of the game. And obviously at the WNBA, there's more physicality than there is in the college level, but I think FIBA is another step above that. So that is an adjustment for some players for sure.
Of your 6 newcomers, how many are international?
None for the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Another conversation I had yesterday, I told the recruit I was talking with, who was an international player, that this was the first time since I've been here that we've not had an international player in our signing class. So yeah, we have 6 newbies, 3 freshmen, 3 transfers, and none of them are from overseas. So yeah.
Was that intentional this year?
Not intentional. It's never really intentional, in terms of we got to recruit from a certain area. It's just really finding the right fit. And 2 of our transfers were players that I had really tried to heavily recruit previously from their junior colleges. So when they appeared in the portal, it was a no-brainer for me to try and get them again. And so I was very happy that they chose to come play here. But yeah, we've got 1 player from Kansas who transferred in from Central Arkansas. And then the other 5 are all from Texas. So yeah.
And I think at least 1 is from a SWAC school, right?
Yes, Victoria Dixon. She came to us from Alabama A&M. Had a really good look at her yesterday in our first workout, and she looked like she's really going to be able to help us. So excited about her for sure.
How would you describe basketball in the Southland Conference?
I think now you can say that the conference has taken a big step up because, with the addition of SFA and UTRGV, 2 teams that is specifically SFA that have been traditionally very strong. I think our league has gotten much more athletic than it has been previously. I think there's a lot of parity in the middle of the league, particularly. And I expect this year is going to be no different from any other year, that you have to be your very best every single day to win a game, because there's no one, that's going to be blown out in this league. All the games are going to be very competitive for sure.
I'm going to ask this question. It's not a got you kind of question, but I really haven't asked coaches this before.
Oh gosh. Okay.
What is your why for being a head coach?
So, I'll keep it short. But when I was 15, I almost lost my life to meningitis, and the doctors told me that basketball was the reason that I lived.
Wow.
I was in great shape at that point and was playing with our national team, and I remember when I was in a coma for 2 weeks. And so when I came out of the coma, the doctor said, you might not be able to play. And I didn't let him finish. I kicked him before he finished his sentence. But, he said again for a while. But I didn't want to hear that. The game was, my life. And so there was no way I was going to give up the game when I gave up playing. And so I knew that I was always going to be involved in basketball in some capacity, because it's been so special to me personally. But I think just, when I knew my playing career was coming to an end overseas, it was a no-brainer that I wanted to get involved because I've been given so much from the game that I wanted to give back to it and give other girls the opportunities that I've had. I mean, where I come from and my country is not a basketball country.
Mhm.
Everybody plays soccer, and soccer and rugby are the two big sports. And I was so lucky that I went to the high school that I did because I had two teachers there who had played basketball internationally, and they were the ones that got me started in the game and gave me the passion for the game. So I think, you know, I have a lot of people to thank for me sitting here right now, but I'm always going to be involved in the game because it's just given me so much, including my life. So that's my why.
As long as we've known each other,
Hmm.
I did not know that.
There you go. Hmm. Yep.
So thank you for sharing that with me and for everyone watching us right now on this edition of the Takeover.
Yeah.
And again, I'm speaking with head coach Donna Finnie of HCU Women's Basketball. And one more time, just remind everyone about, or for those who are just now joining us,
Hmm.
about the partnership that HCU has with Kendra Scott.
Yep. So we have a new partnership with the Kendra Scott brand, and we have a launch event on Saturday at the Kendra Scott store in Highland Village between 12 and 3 p.m., where we'll be talking about some of the things that we're going to be doing with the Kendra Scott brand, including our game day giveaway to our fan of the game, where there will be a piece of Kendra Scott jewelry awarded to that fan of the game. But we have several other things that we're going to be doing, including a fashion show and some other pop-up events. So we're really excited to be partnering with Kendra Scott.
And your email address is dfinney. Is it, because I sent it to you at HBU.
Yeah, no, at hc.edu.
So you finally, so it forwarded over to you because you still
Yes.
got it. You got the invite, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll post that. But yes, dfinney at hcu.edu for more
H
information. Go ahead.
HC HC. No, not
hcu.edu.
HCU, just HC.
HC. Oh, HC.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting
So
fancy now.
Houston,
Okay.
yeah, HoustonChristian.edu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hmm.
All right. Excellent. So email dfinney at
Yes.
hc.edu for more information if you want to purchase a table for the fundraiser in September. And Des,
Yeah.
as we wrap it up with you, close it out about more details about that fundraiser in September.
Yeah. So big fundraising dinner September 6th at the Sugarland Marriott. Our guest speaker will be Coach Van Chancellor. As I mentioned before, just a great person to listen to and have the opportunity to have ask questions to him. We'll also have a fashion show, which will be supported by Kendra Scott with the jewelry, and Chloe Dow, who is a fashion designer that won Project Runway and has a store, a boutique in Houston that we're partnering with. So, lots of things going on at that fundraiser, and there are still tables available and seats available. If people want to purchase, they can reach out to me directly.
Will you be modeling something in the fashion show?
I will not be. That is something that our girls will be doing. So I think that's a player thing for sure.
Okay.
But they're really excited. I mean, obviously, they're going to get the opportunity to be fitted for dresses from Chloe Dow, etc. And then obviously the Kendra jewelry. So the girls are really excited to be part of this, and I think it's just a great thing for them to be involved with, and something they'll remember as part of their collegiate experience. So yeah.
What is HCU's social handle on Instagram?
Our team one is at HCU WBB
And the same on
X.
Twitter?
Yeah. Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
All right. Excellent, Coach Finnie. Thank you for joining me. It was kind of short notice when I asked you to reach out to
Okay.
you to do this.
It's okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you as always for taking time to speak to me. And I'm going to say this publicly. She knows this, but I'm going to say it publicly for Rex and CA37 and folks watching on the platforms. Coach Finnie was one of the coaches who reached out to me and kept in touch with me when my mom was in poor health and my mom passed away. So she was a part of my support system. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate that.
Of course. Of course. Well, what you do, Kris, is a big part of the basketball community in Houston, and it's important that we support each other. And I think that's why I love being part of this community in Houston. We are very supportive of each other. So you've helped us a lot, which we appreciate, and we should be there for you as well. So
I appreciate that, and we will keep in touch. And again, if you have the non-conference schedule finalized in time for next Thursday, let me know and come back and share it.
Definitely will. Thanks so much, Kris.
You're welcome. You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. HCU women's basketball head coach Donna Finnie joining me on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. It's the bottom of the hour, so I'm going to take a quick 35-second break to play the promo of the BS3 network, so you get an idea, if you don't know, get an idea of what BS3 network is all about, because BS3 TV is changing the way you watch TV. Be back real quick.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, and also, of course, the BS3 Network. I am KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You're watching this show, The Takeover, this Throwback Thursday edition of The Takeover, on YouTube, Twitch, FireTV, and Roku, courtesy of BS3 Network, BS3 TV. BS3 is available right now. The show is live streaming on Roku at the BS3 Network. Download the app, download BS3 via Roku. If you don't want to do that, why not? But just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com and share this as well with everyone in case you have not seen it on Folks Talking Sports, Let's Rage Cougs. But those shows are available on demand on Roku at the BS3 Network. So yes, you can watch Let's Rage Cougs on there as well, and Let's Talk Houston Rockets, in addition to the live streaming of this show, the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, each Thursday, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Thank you very much to head coach Donna Finnie of HCU, Houston Christian Women's Basketball. And again, to email her about purchasing tickets or a table for HCU's fundraising dinner taking place Friday, September 6th. Her email address is dfinnie, Finnie, at hc.edu. Once again, that's dfinnie, Finnie is Finnie, at hc.edu. These final moments, final 25 minutes or so of this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Recapping real quick, the Forever Cougs TBT roster finalized. Majority of UH alums. Their first game will be Friday, July 19th, 8 o'clock Central, inside Fertitta Center against Austin's own. Forever Cougs is the number 2 seed in the Houston Regional. The number 1 seed in the Houston Regional is a team from North Texas. And really, it's not necessarily University of North Texas, but North Texas, most of the players are from the northern part of the state. And they were also the runner-up finalist in last year's TBT championship game. So giving them respect as experience, because they've been in it. They've experienced it. They played in TBT. I think as far as the Forever Cougs roster, Rob Gray is one of the few players on the roster who have actually participated in TBT before. So the rules are a little bit different. The game ends on a made basket, courtesy of the Elam, ELAM ending, which roughly, I think Dan Friel, the co-founder of TBT, mentioned in my interview with him that at the roughly 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter, whoever is ahead, 8 points is added to that team's number, and that new number will be the go-to number to reach for the victorious team. So TBT games end on a made basket. So if the team is leading, let's say 70-61 with 4 minutes to go, 8 points is added to 70. So the winning number to reach would be 78. So the clock goes off, and then you got to get to 78. So that's how it works. All right. Rockets wrapping up. Well, they got game 4 of Summer League tonight, 10 o'clock. I might do a show, a Let's Talk Houston Rockets, before the game, just to get fans' thoughts on what they've seen so far. I did not do an LTHR show after the Summer League Rockets lost to the Summer League Pistons on Monday. And kudos to the Summer League Pistons for playing defense better than their NBA counterparts did throughout the entire season, this past season. They actually defended people. But Rockets lost to the Summer League Rockets lost, was it 87-73 to the Summer League Pistons on Monday. Tonight, they will play the Summer League Minnesota Timberwolves. 10 o'clock game can be seen on ESPN. So currently, the Summer League Rockets are 2-1. I don't believe if they win, they'll can be on the winning, quote unquote, winning side to reach the semifinals, but I'm not sure. I'm not keeping up with it that much. It's Summer League. It's downtime for me, honestly. This coming Monday and Tuesday, the Houston Roundball Review Media Group will be in Arlington, Texas for the American Athletic Conference Football Media Days. Yes, football. The media group, me and Adolphus A.D. Moore will be in Arlington. You can catch that on ESPN Plus on Tuesday morning, as coaches and players interact with the media that covers AAC football. I submitted my poll for the preseason predictions. I had Memphis Tigers picked number 1 on my poll. I want to say I picked the Rice Owls around 7 or 8, but looking forward to being there and seeing folks I haven't seen in a while, and meeting the new AAC commissioner, Tim Pernetti. So follow the platforms, follow the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, follow me, and of course, Folks Talking Sports on Threads and Instagram for content from AAC Football Media Day. Yes, because the Houston Roundball Review is a media group. And at some point, A.D. Moore and I will have something to share with everyone. So look for that in the next, roughly 2 weeks. And that's some good news. Another indication that the media group is growing. And also, watch A.D. Moore. He will be covering the Andre Johnson induction into the 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame, because A.D. Moore received his credential and approval from the NFL to attend and cover the 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Week. So that is another honor for the Houston Roundball Review Media Group. To advertise, email advertise@thehrr.com. Again, advertise, email advertise at the H or the, some folks say the thehrr.com. Shows all over the place, all the platforms, Roku, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, FireTV, Twitch. A lot of different ways to reach audiences. Probably going to do more with the Folks Talking Sports show, live stream show. May do that show at least twice a week, if not more. Talk about other sports, not just hoops. And speaking of which, going to get into the news real quick. Let me see. My family watching on my Cougar alums, watching on YouTube. Received this email from Rice today at roughly an hour ago. So 11:40 in the morning. Check this out. Record number of donors highlight Owl Club efforts in 2023-24. Rice Athletics inaugural season in the AAC spurred a record-setting amount of individual donations to the Owl Club during fiscal 2023-24, surpassing $2 million for the second consecutive year. A record of 1,799 supporters of Rice Athletics donated $2,052,616 to support and enhance the experience of Rice student athletes. The cornerstones of the effort were the Rice Day of Giving, which brought in $276,000 over a 24-hour period, and the Night of Flight celebration, which raised over $150,000 during a night of celebration and philanthropy in April. I'm going to stop right there. UH alums, of which I am one, and proud of it. I don't recall receiving email updates like that regarding fundraising numbers, how things are progressing. Where's the transparency from my alma mater? $2 million to some programs, that's nothing. Bigger programs like the Ohio State, etc. It's drop in a bucket, whatever. But Rice Athletics, the Owl Club, distributed that information earlier today to provide an update and I think some transparency about what's going on with their fundraising efforts. Crickets from the University of Houston regarding such matters. Now, I love my school. I'm a proud graduate of the University of Houston. I'm a proud Houston Cougar alum. Gotta say this though. Colleague Joseph Duarte last week, I think it was Thursday, Friday, part of his written update regarding the search of the next athletics director for Houston mentioned, and this is what he wrote, some of the things he mentioned during his appearance on Let's Rage Cougs last Tuesday while we were in Vegas for Big 12 Football Media Day. But Joseph, in print, stated that a possible concern regarding the next AD, athletics director for Houston, was the seemingly unwillingness to relinquish some power, some authority by Board of Regents Chair Tillman Fertitta and also President Dr. Renu Couture. Heard similar concerns my question, especially at Tillman's feet, Tillman is a billionaire many times over, way more successful financially than me, clearly. But from a common sense perspective, and I think it should be from a business perspective as well, Tillman in charge. Hey, the fundraising part of it, getting Fertitta Center built, getting the new medical school built, his name on it, all those things. Great, 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 great. But from an athletics perspective and from a outside of men's basketball, volleyball, track and field, Tillman in charge, Tillman clinging to power and having such a tight reign over the AD, that has not worked for success for Houston Athletics. So if it has not worked, Tillman, why would you continue to cling to things that have not worked? If you want Houston Athletics to be successful, do things differently than what had been done in the past. Hire an AD, let that AD know the expectations for the program, which should be to compete for and win championships, but also to raise money to increase revenue. Set parameters for that person, him or her, and then let him or her do their job rather than constrain them in their job and limit their success. Because if you limit their success, then really you are limiting the success of the Houston Athletics program. And President Couture is part of this as well. Leadership, what has been done, didn't work, isn't working. So do something different. Or just wait for that money from the Big 12 media rights deal to kick in and flounder in mediocrity in everything else on campus in sports. And don't tell everyone, wow, I'm surprised. I don't understand why things aren't different. I'm not sure why we're not winning, why we're not more successful, as you wield a heavy hand over the AD. Make that make sense to me as you're watching here. Rex, CA37, as you're tuning in here on YouTube and Facebook and Roku and Fire TV and Twitch. Again, I'm critical of the administration. I'm an alum. I love my school. I want to see my school succeed in the classroom, on the court, on the field, in everything related to the University of Houston. But if you're doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results, that's a fool's errand. Anyhow, last week, and I think it was last Thursday after the Roundball Review Takeover live show ended, hours after it ended, I think it was either in the evening, actually. But the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee, Division I, okayed quadrant-based team sheets and a complete seed list. So last week in Austin, the NCAA Division I Women's Hoops Committee approved a move to quadrant-based team sheets this coming season, and to provide the full championship field seed list on Selection Sunday. And as Rex chimes in, leaders want to hold the AD's hand instead of letting them be big boys or big girls and do their jobs. Exactly. And that's the problem, or that is a problem. Why would someone, a qualified person, and I'll get back to the news in a second, these closing moments. Why would a more than capable person for AD, athletics director, want to take this job at Houston if they will have the higher ups look over their shoulder all the time and limit their ability to do their job? Who wants to function like that? So I'm not surprised. Like I said, I've heard that problem that mentioned before, and Joseph Duarte put it in print. So, UH higher ups say they want to compete for and win championships, but then they don't allow the AD to do the job that they were hired to do. Back at it. The NCAA Division I committee also announced that Indianapolis will play host to a joint championships event in 2028 and named a future committee chair. But on Selection Sunday going forward, this women's basketball, the committee will provide publicly for the first time the entire 68-team seed list in seed order when the bracket is announced. The committee also voted to move to the use of quadrants on team sheets starting in 2024-25, so this coming season. Women's basketball home, away, neutral quadrant ranges are based on an analysis of historical data dating to 2010. The quadrant ranges are unique to women's basketball data. The 2024-25 net rank quadrant ranges for women's hoops were based on the expected winning percentage versus a given opponent rank in net with respect to game location across all games. The ranges will be classified as Q1, home 1 to 25, neutral 1 to 34, and away 1 to 45. Q2, home 26 to 55, neutral 36 to 65, and away 46 to 80. Q3, home 56 to 90, neutral 66 to 105, and away 81 to 130. And last but not least, Q4, home 91 plus, neutral 106 plus, and away 131 plus. Wow. Q4, that's a big range, because there are 300 plus teams in women's basketball on the Division I level. So if Q4 starts for home games at 91 and then away at 131, wow. Used to be, previous years with no Q1 on the women's side, I think the range for segments, dividing lines are like 1 to 50, 51 to 100, 101 to 200, I want to say. And then the fourth group was 201 and up. So that's changed a little bit now with the Q1 and the quad system happening in Division I women's basketball. So that is interesting. The WNBA All-Star Game, All-Star festivities start taking place Friday, July 19th. The All-Star Game itself will take place Saturday, July 20th. Prime time. First news here. Cheryl Miller, Hall of Famer, Olympian, the first head coach of the Phoenix Mercury, will coach the WNBA All-Stars as they take on the USA women's national team in Phoenix on Saturday. Head coach of the U.S. women's team, Cheryl Reeve. On her staff is Carol Lawson, Joni Taylor, so Carol Lawson, Duke, Joni Taylor, Texas A&M, and Mike Tebow. Tune in to the All-Star Game at 7:30 Central on ABC. Brittany Griner, BG. This might be interesting. BG is going to participate in the skills challenge on Friday, but 10-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Griner and 2021 MVP Jonquel Jones of Liberty headline the list of All-Stars who will take place in the competitions on Friday. Griner will compete in the skills challenge against guards, including her teammate Sophie Cunningham, the Atlanta Dream's Alicia Gray, the now Connecticut Suns Marina Mabry, who was just traded to Connecticut yesterday or Tuesday this week from the Chicago Sky, and the 2019 WNBA All-Star MVP Erica Wheeler from the Indiana Fever. The skills challenge features dribbling, bounce pass, chest pass, and outlet pass, in addition to shots including an elbow jumper and 3-pointers from atop the arc and the corner. So yeah, and the person who does it in the lowest amount of time wins. So I'm kind of curious to see what 6'9" Brittany Griner does as far as dribbling, the 3-pointers, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's be kind of a sight to see. But Jonquel Jones competing in the 3-point contest, 6'6" Jonquel Jones competing against Stephanie Dolson. Mama Steph, Big Mama Steph. I think Steph is 6'4", but she leads the league in 3-point shooting percentage this year at 48.5%. They're going to go against guards Kayla McBride, Alicia Gray, and Marina Mabry. I saw that, and then earlier today, I want to say I saw some mention of Caitlin Clark being in that too, and I'm like, okay, that wasn't the release that I saw, but it makes more sense to have CC involved in that. Got to get her involved in more than just the All-Star game itself taking place Saturday evening. But we'll see. Caitlin Clark coming off a WNBA single game assist record of 19 assists Wednesday night in the Fever's 8-point loss in Dallas to the Wings. But yeah, she had 19 dimes. They still lost, though. They couldn't get stops when they needed to in the fourth quarter, but it was a hell of a game. Kind of curious to see what the numbers will be for that game as far as attendance. The NBA announced that the Board of Governors had signed off on their new media rights deal. I think they sent the deal to WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery. And word is that Mr. Zaslav, WBD CEO, is going to match or try to match the numbers that Amazon Prime is paying, which is about $1.8 billion. But the league will argue that it's not the same in terms of reach and distribution. So there will be lawyers and litigators involved in that. But that'll pretty much do it on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Florida State, again, what are y'all doing? If the Big Ten and SEC do not want you, then where are you going to go? I saw some folks suggest go independent. What network is going to pay Florida State athletics, Florida State football, money equivalent to what Notre Dame and the Big Ten schools and the Big Ten and the SEC schools get? Who is it? What? And have the same distribution for them. There is no one if they go independent in football. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if they go independent in football, there's no guarantee they'll get an invite to the CFP as an independent. So again, Florida State, what are you doing? You went public, guns blazing, bazookas firing, crashing and burning everything behind you. What are you going to do if the Big Ten and SEC say no, thank you? Time will tell what they do. You know, your thumb your nose at the Big 12. But if Brett Yormark comes through with the money, maybe your attitude will change. Well, that would do it for this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. And remember, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Take care. Peace.